Countdown. Welcome to Village June, where you'll be getting weekly doses of career tips and hacks, as well as hearing stories of grit, perseverance, and inspiration. My overall mission of this new series is really building community, sharing stories of hope, and bringing everyone closer together by creating a very inclusive environment where everyone feels welcome. Hello, hello, hello. I think we are live. Mind me, because this is my second time going live. Let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Can everyone see me? See here. I did post the link actually on the event page because I did have issues with people finding the link. So can people, as you are coming in, can you comment below? There's Adriana or Ivy. Okay, let me just post this right here. Hello. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous again. This is my second video. Who is this? Let me see. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull up. Okay. Thank you all for being here. I have an exciting guest. My first guest, but a little intro to me. If you don't know me, my name is June. I am a career coach and career strategist, and I have spent the last 5 years building teams within the tech space. I'm also a mother of 2. And hi, Juan. Nice to see you. I do want to do this little song because it is the first time of the month. So my DJ is not here. So I'm just going to play this song. I think you guys know this song. Can you guys hear this? It's the first of the month, you guys. New month, new goals. Who's excited? Okay, I'm a little cheese ball. All right, so I do have my first guest here, Tisha Pelletier. I'm really excited to meet with her because she was one of the LinkedIn influencers and entrepreneurs that really motivated me to start showing up and sharing content. I was really obsessed with her convo and my camera videos, and now she's my first guest. I thought it was fitting, and today we are going to talk about how to overcome that fear of rejection and how rejection could lead you to a different direction. So let's bring her in.
Hey, June, how are you, lady?
I'm a little nervous.
Hey, I really liked your music, and it looks like Edward Thomas even wrote Bone, like Bone Thugs and Harmony. I was like,
Harmony.
Back to my high school days.
Yeah, high school or middle school days for me. I don't want to age myself, but I thought it was every time the first of the month comes, I always think about this song.
Yes.
And I actually wrote a post about it at midnight last night.
So that was a perfect segue of getting your live started today. And
yes.
I'm so proud of you. I'm excited. And hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. And excited to be here, June. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm just going to welcome everyone in. If you guys could comment where you're from, would love to see where you're from, city and state, and how's everyone feeling today. Before we kick off, I want to give the floor to Tisha. If you want to give a little intro to yourself, I do have your LinkedIn profile on here, and you are what it says, authentic with a touch of bad. Did I say that word?
No, you can say it. I'll say it for you. Badass.
Because you are a badass. Empowering entrepreneurs in saturated industries level up their personal brand to stand out and make a bigger impact. Follow along at Tisha Talks.
Yeah.
Woohoo! And then, so can you give a little brief intro? And I see some people tuning in from the Bay Area. PA area. I do have Adriana here. She's actually going to be my second guest next Tuesday.
Oh,
She's
nice.
actually she just rebooted her photography business, so she's going to give my community some tips on how to perfect a compelling and attractive LinkedIn profile to really present yourself in a professional way. So I will give the floor to you if you want to do a little intro.
Hey, yeah. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Excited to be here with Build with June. Again, my name is Tisha Marie Pelletier. I spend a lot of my time on LinkedIn too. It's actually how I met June. And I am also a mother. I have two kiddos, a 12-year-old son and a 8-year-old daughter, Ellie, and have been on this entrepreneurial journey since 2004, if you can believe it. So like 16 years in the making, have
Oh my
had
God.
lots of pivots. I love this topic that we're diving into about rejection because I think we've all had it. We've all been there. How do we bounce from that? How do we adapt? How do we move forward? I am a professional speaker. I'm a personal brand builder, and I'm also an author. So every week I release rule of life lessons as a way to leave a legacy for my kids and also just remember the stories and remember those wins and even those struggles and what I learned from them. And as June mentioned, I do a series called Convo in My Camry every Friday. So now, June, because you love it, I have to keep going.
You have to. I actually was thinking about maybe we could do our first live in your Camry and my Mitsubishi. That would have probably been
I would love,
crazy.
June, that you created this like convo of my Mitsubishi, like a thank you. And that was so precious. I'm like, oh, I love it. I love that people are also jumping in their cars and doing these videos.
Did anyone
Um,
else do that?
I've had some people, they're like, you're kind of trending with this whole convo in my Camry thing. So I'm going to do like, my good friend Bruce does like musings in his Mazda. Like he's just, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to kind of be the trendsetter of,
You
I did
are,
it.
and
Now everybody else is doing it.
the trailblazer, which you are. So,
The
um,
trailblazer.
yeah. So, what inspired actually? So, what do you do? Like, I know you have like a weekly series. You do the combo in my Camry. You do the Tisha
Mm-hmm.
talks. Do you hear me okay? I hear echo. Do you
Oh,
hear me
that's
okay?
better. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
All
So,
good.
what do you want to tell the community? Like, what do you do as far as here on LinkedIn? Like, how do you show up for yourself and your community by doing these weekly videos?
Yeah, so I recently went through the Y Institute out of New Mexico, and I love this. I think everybody needs to figure out what their why is. And my why is really to always show up authentically, always. I mean, you can't be an authentic girl with a touch of badass if you're like putting up a facade.
No,
It just doesn't
exactly.
flow well. My other thing is positively impacting the lives of others and doing that through inspiration, through storytelling. One of my greatest accomplishments just in COVID was being named one of Arizona's greatest 48 top storytellers. And that was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that was a list, but I'm excited about that. Very cool because it just solidifies that I'm on the path and I'm doing something good and I'm impacting lives and I'm leaving a legacy, and impact is huge. Like
Right.
that's it.
No,
Uh-oh.
exactly. Yeah, there was a little bug, but I don't hear it anymore. Can everyone hear us okay? Adriana said it stopped. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Um, so let's talk about your our story actually and how we met. And I will tell them briefly. So in April, when I got laid off, and I made a post about this, I think yesterday, I really avoided logging in on LinkedIn because it was just too depressing for me seeing all of my coworkers share their posts at what they're doing at the company that I was working for. And I avoided it. And then I think maybe about 2 or 3 weeks later, I just started going on LinkedIn. And then I started following you. I started following Shanae, and you, Shanae, and I think her name is Carrie and Veronica are all
Mm.
of like the mompreneurs that I inspired to be. And what I liked about your videos is you just came off so authentic, but you also embraced your motherhood. And I remember I was just like, the first day I actually saw one of your videos, I was like, gosh, how can she do that? How can she have the courage to show up on LinkedIn and talk about motherhood? I could never do that. I could never do that. And that's when I commented on one of your posts, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna cry, but
I know you're gonna make me cry, so
and it's just like surreal to me that I should turn my camera off, but it's just surreal to me that this is like happening now.
Yes.
That you're
Girl.
that oh wait, Edward, can you make me laugh to get rid of these tears? Um
I know. I'm like, I need a tissue, June. Oh man.
it's
I
surreal. It's surreal to me that now I'm like coming full circle. That now you're like you're my first guest on my live show, and also I felt like you're not only my mentor, but you're also my accountability partner.
yes.
So walk me through about like your experience when I first commented.
Oh, okay. Well, so I did a live stream earlier this week on, or was it last week? They're all kind of like blending because I do so many live streams. I have my Tisha Talk series that's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 4:45 Pacific. And I did this one, June, on vanity metrics and
Yep.
how that doesn't really matter to me. And I use LinkedIn in a more strategic way because I'm not looking to reach the masses. I'm looking to reach the right people. It's always going to be about quality over quantity. So, and not to mention, I think that if I'm going to grow this and it's like millions of followers, I don't know that I can commit to that because that's a lot. I mean, you could spend every waking minute on LinkedIn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Commenting, responding, like it's just it's a full-time job and I know people that do that. I know that they are not doing anything else except LinkedIn. So I really am about like, what am I going to create? And that's with video or with text or whatever that is. What am I going to create that speaks to people and gets them to take a step? Take a step. Because that's ultimately how you start to build those relationships. And so back to this, June, you commented on, I believe it was my one post about the door closing and another one opening, and I had already taken
Yeah,
all these photos. Like,
I actually have the post.
yeah, the Cinderella, story that I've been living. And you posted or you commented on this, and it was like, I swear it was like 2 paragraphs, and I could just feel your heart, I could feel your soul in that comment. And that's what I'm looking for. Like, I don't get excited about the likes. I get excited about the comments that people take time to write me and that I have an opportunity to respond and to create the relationship right there. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, that was you sending me that message or commenting was the opportunity that I needed to then reach out to you and continue. And look how, I mean, just we met what, April? And we haven't even
It
met
was
yet.
June. Well, yeah, it was April, and then I think when I commented, you personally sent me an invite for a virtual latte,
Yes.
and then you also told me you invited me to apply for this grant, and that was
Mm-hmm.
even before I even was trying to. I didn't even know what I wanted to do in April and June. But why don't you tell the community what your grant was about? And by
Yes.
the way, she rejected me.
Hey, but now we're on your live talking about rejection is a redirection. Yes. So I know because I mean, just in the circumstances that we're in, and June, you shared that so many of us have lost jobs, lost income, lost opportunities. My business before COVID was I'm going to be on that professional speaking circuit, baby. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to do live events and all this. And I was already moving in that direction. And as all of you know, it fell out the bottom. You're just like, well, there went that brilliant plan. We're not doing it
Mm-hmm.
anymore. And so I was really forced to pivot. Absolutely. All of us were pivoting. And so years ago in 2010, I was running another business called the Mommy Club that I just Mom-E, so for mom entrepreneurs. And I was getting ready to I was formulating the idea, and I saw this opportunity for a grant. A mom entrepreneur was giving money to another mom entrepreneur. And I was like, you know what? I've got to go for this. I've got to test the waters. I've never applied for anything like this. And I did. And I ended up winning the grant. And the reason is many women, the woman that chose me said, we chose your application because you are all about helping people, making a positive impact and helping people. And that was like, oh my gosh, that's totally my why. And for years, I've been giving grants. I've been funding them, I've been supporting them. And I took a year off in 2019 to figure some things out. And what happened was this year, I was like, well, what can I do to impact the community? What can I do to stand out? I'm very big into how are you using your personal brand and your passions and your interests to stand out and do something different. And my birthday, for all of you entrepreneurs, falls on September 15th, which is a estimated tax day. So it's quite crappy to keep paying the government on your birthday. It's a horrible experience. I'm like, yes, take my money, government. Okay, I don't get a gift from you, but I'm paying you, you know. And then I just decided this year that I was going to put the stake in the ground and say, you know what, I'm bringing this back, and I'm going to go ahead and give a grant to another aspiring entrepreneur because they need it. They need this. They need the mentoring. They need support. They need guidance. They need money. They need all of those things to help them get their start. And if I can believe in that person and they believe in themselves, and there's nothing they can't accomplish. And yeah, so I gave a woman out of the UK. I know someone here is from the UK. I gave a woman out of the UK the grant, and she received several other, you know, support and a MacBook and all these great things. And I gave people seats to my Startup Entrepreneur Academy so that I could also mentor and support them and help them lay the foundation for their business. And yes, June, I shared this. There was a reason I didn't choose you, but hear me out. The one thing that June has done that I have seen is she's crushing it every single day. She's out there, she's building her confidence, she's doing a live stream, she's got her fun logo, she's doing videos. Like, you are so far ahead of so many people. And that's why I was like, you don't need this. I know that maybe temporarily, but you know this. You already know what you're doing. And the people that I'm reaching are the people that are like, I'm at zero.
Yeah.
I don't have no idea.
So Edward says, happy belated.
Thank you. Thank you, Edward. It was an amazing birthday. Big 41. Very exciting. And yes, I still did pay the government because it's like, it's still estimated tax day, and I don't want to be like dinged for not paying my taxes. But yeah, it's but I was happier to pay it to someone else.
Taurus says, don't pay the government on your birthday. Happy belated birthday.
I know. I'm telling you, it was either like a blessing or a curse, but I was like, yeah. I'm going to pick a day to give a grant. My birthday sounds like a good day to give it. Here we go. Yeah. And this is the first year of many that I plan on doing this. And my grant was like $500 and seats to my academy. And now it's grown to over $6,000 because of all of the support and the collaborations that I've been given. So it's amazing. It's amazing what happens when the community steps up.
Thank you, Lenny. Lenny is actually from the UK. Thank you, Lenny. I hope you show up. She actually just posted one of her first posts last night, I think, and tagged me. Nice. And this is why it's important to show up, like you said, right? Oh my gosh, let me go here. Can you hear that? Can you guys hear that? Okay.
Yeah.
This is actually a really embarrassing. I have to plug my charger to the laptop, so I'm going to be right back. Tisha, if you could cover for me for like a couple of minutes, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Anyone, if you have any questions about entrepreneurship and personal branding, please comment and ask Tisha, because she's an expert and she's actually starting a challenge soon. So if you want to touch on that too.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll cover you while you go get your battery. So this is the fun thing about live streams is stuff happens all the time. It's never perfect. I've been doing a live stream and I had a hailstorm happening outside my window, and it was fun. So June was mentioning personal branding. I love personal branding. I feel that every single one of us, Edward, Taurus, Eleni, Adriana, every single one of us is our own unique personal brand. And the reason is do you want other people to control your story, or do you want to be able to control your story? I think that even if we're in the job market, people are looking at you. They're looking at your social media. They're looking at your website. They're looking at all of those pieces to decide if they even want to take the next step with you. So personal branding is really key. It really is key in developing you as a person. And I'll just share this, like so many people get wrapped up in this because we're too close. I would say that building your personal brand is a pretty fearful project because we're too close to it. We don't see ourselves the way others see us. It's usually a self-confidence and a self-esteem and a self-worth issue. And this is where I really want to help people shine by figuring out who they are, what they stand for, what are those passions, and bringing that to the surface, because it gets easier once you know who you are. It's just like I was saying with the whole why, knowing your why. The Why Institute always says when you know your why, what you do makes a big impact. It makes an even bigger impact. When you know your why, what you do makes a bigger impact. And so many of us are leading with, well, I'm a realtor, I'm a coach, I'm a financial planner, I'm a this, but you're not really diving deep. You're just kind of surface level of what you do. But if people knew more about you and are, your interests, your hobbies, your passions. I mean, June, we all know she loves to dance. If you're a dancer, you're going to gravitate toward June. If you like Bone Thugs-n-Harmony, you're going to gravitate toward June. You get a sense for people and their human to human interaction and like their just their personality, but you've got to take the step in building your personal brand and letting it shine.
Yeah, I think that's
So,
also too. A lot of people when they are thinking about LinkedIn, it's definitely, yes, it's known as a professional platform, but at the end of the day, you really want to show up fully authentically, because how would you show up if you were working at a different, like at a company with your
mhm.
coworkers? You're you, right? I mean, Adriana's on here. She knows that I'm a little bit passionate. I'm like super passionate about a few things. Oh, Sylvia's here. Sylvia says to add to this, there's also so many noise in life these days in the pandemic to really break through to understand who you are and what your story is. It isn't an easy task. Shout out to Sylvia. I know Sylvia at from Wish, and she was my
Okay.
mentor. She is, I think she is the manager of like the social media influencers for Wish. So thanks
Oh,
for
nice.
stopping by, Sylvia.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, can I add to that real quick too, Sylvia's response? Um, I was going to say too, it's definitely not an easy task. And that's why I was saying that when we decide to build our own personal brand, we are so close to it that we're like, is this me? Does this appear to be me? Like you need to have other other people who like you trust them to then be able to share like what they're thinking. When I see June, this is what I think of. When I see Tisha, this is what I think of. That's going to help you so much more. I know, June, you mentioned my whole authentic with a touch of badass. I did not come up with that. I did not. I had a girl watch me on stage, then come talk to me after. And she's like, this is the way I envision you. Every time I see you, this is what I think of. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I just found my tagline. I love it. And that's the person that I want to be every time I show up, is that girl. And
yeah.
that's why I'm talking about that.
Yeah. Thanks, Sylvia. Hello to Adriana, I think. Am I saying it right? She's
Katrina?
been Adrina. She just connected with me on LinkedIn, and she's working
Nice.
on her personal branding as well. She has, I think she's a wine business. So
Oh,
thanks for being here. Why don't we touch on about the whole rejection is a
yeah.
redirection? Because I do want to touch on this. The same week that I actually applied for LinkedIn, actually applied for Tisha's grant, I applied for LinkedIn Live. And for me, I gave myself a goal that I was going to get approved for LinkedIn Live at the end of the year when I had a certain follower count. But then for some reason, when I actually was doing the application for your grant, you were asking me like really like thoughtful questions as far as what is my why? Why do I deserve this?
Mm-hmm.
So that inspired me to actually apply for the LinkedIn Live application, because not everyone gets approved, right? There's actually a robust process where you do have to fill out an application and then also share your content ideas. And they do look at your, I think they actually look at your, like how often do you produce native videos?
Right.
And then, so it's crazy is the same week that I got rejected by Miss Tisha over here.
You say that it's like it's a bad
Yeah,
thing.
I'm just giving you a hard time. I got approved for LinkedIn Live, and it's like if I didn't take that initiative to apply for your grant, I would have never applied for LinkedIn Live until like the end of the year. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like almost like I don't know. I was like, it made sense. Like it made sense. Like I know why I got rejected. She's right. I'm way far ahead of all of her candidates in the process. And but if I didn't apply for that grant and took some time in writing my mission, I wouldn't have been re-inspired to apply for the LinkedIn Live application.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you
Mm-hmm.
for that. I think I told you thank you. So why don't
Yeah.
you touch on that as far as like your experience of being rejected multiple times, and then how you were able to stay positive and have the positive mindset to move forward and be motivated to keep going. So why don't you touch on that?
Yeah, so this reminds me of a story. Back a couple years ago, I was told about the Phoenix Startup Week here. And there's startup weeks all over the country. I'm sure there's some in the Bay Area too. And I had no idea, but I was already like so passionate about startups that I decided to throw my hat in the ring. I filled out the application and I got picked for round two, which meant recording a video, submitting it for, for for approval. And I remember being introduced to a gentleman who was very involved. He was actually the director of Phoenix Startup Week, and being introduced through a mutual friend and just saying, hey, thanks so much, like if you could just tell me what to expect, what should I be talking about, like this is the idea that I have. And I am not joking, June, he like crapped on my idea. He like like humiliated me in this email, and my friend was CC'd on it. He's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. But just basically telling me that I was never going to make it. I'm not the kind of speaker they're looking for. I didn't have value. Oh, and here's the thing, I was not an entrepreneur. I was merely a consultant. Like, I didn't have the know how or the wisdom to be able to share the 10 essentials every startup needs. I was just like a mentor. And I was like, you know what? I've actually walked the talk. I've been through business several times. I've learned, I've struggled, I've failed, I've succeeded. Like, there's been a lot. And I almost let that person get to me because I was like, maybe I shouldn't apply. Maybe he's right. Maybe I shouldn't do this. And I remember my good friend David, who is a videographer, he's like, are you really going to let him do that to you? Or are you going to get back up and show him? And he's like, we're going to crush this. We're going to do this video. You're going to leave a lasting impression on those judges, and let's do this. And so when we talk about this rejection and this fear, I really do feel that sometimes we need other influences to come in and just bring us back to life and bring us back to the surface. Like, had David not been there for me, I would have not done it. I would not have done it. I would have just stuck with this guy telling me I can't, rejecting me from the start. And instead, what happened is David and I got together. He recorded my video, my intro, and my submission, and I ended up making it. I ended up making it. Like, so I was one of the speakers for Phoenix Startup Week, and I was talking about the 10 essentials every startup needs to crush it. And not talking about, oh, well, you need a marketing a plan and all this. I was really talking about the character traits that every single person needs to build their business on, the integrity and the why and all of these essentials. And here's what happened. I ended up getting picked to go on TV. I was getting ready to release my book at the same time, and so I pitched myself for this television show, ended up getting a spot on it, and they were like, hey, you should bring this guy. I was like, this guy, the one that totally just like told me I would never make it, rejected me. And I didn't say that because I am one of those people that takes the high road, but I was like, yeah, he could totally join me on this TV set. He didn't, I think because of pride. He ended up sending someone else in his place. And the day that I ended up speaking at Phoenix Startup Week, I walked into standing room only. So he's telling me that my subject will never fly. I walk in and there's not a seat in the house. And here was like my sweet revenge. I just have to say, June. He was trying to take pictures of this event and me speaking, and he's trying to like whittle his way through the crowd. And I'm just like, yeah. And so here was my little other revenge that I had as part of my talk. My last essential that I shared that people need is confidence. And I shared the story, not mentioning him, of course, but I said, hey, you want to know something, guys? This is pretty recent. I was told I'd never make it here. I was told that I would never get here because I wasn't good enough. I didn't have the right topic. I wasn't a tech company. I was a consultant and not an entrepreneur. I had someone tell me that. And if I had let that person tell me that I wasn't going to be here and I listened to him, I wouldn't be here. And I was like, but clearly here I am, standing room only, crushing it. And it's just like my like, like my moment of just like, you know what? Eat it. Oh, June, you're muted.
I was going to say success is the best revenge, you know?
It is.
I do want to comment on this because I did make like a comment or my first post about my layoff. And this is like my first post as like sharing my experience. This is even before my journey on my LinkedIn content journey in June. And someone that I'm not going to mention their names, but I always say done is better than perfect, right? Is that the saying? But I posted something and someone messaged me and said, you probably should take that down. Like you should probably revise it because there's like a bunch of like grammar errors, which was fine. I guess like he was trying to watch out for me, but like his tone was just like it was just was it wasn't he wasn't in my corner, you know. And it kind of just reminded me of that when you talked about that gentleman saying that you're not going to make it, right? Like he was basically criticizing my post and the fact that I was being vulnerable. But I was like, I'm still going to post it, you know.
Yep.
Because my intention was I wanted to share my layoff journey to help people out there that are feeling lost, that are feeling sad and depressed. And that's why I'm constantly showing up for my community and sharing my journey, because it's just crazy. It's only really been my LinkedIn journey has only been since really June. Now it's what, October?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
There's a really great Pinterest quote, and I want to share it for everybody listening. But there's one about there's like 7.7 billion people in the world, and you let the opinion of one person stop you. Like that's like, okay, there's your mic drop, Edward.
right, Edward? Maria says it's always the opposite. Look what you've become, Tish. Exactly.
Yeah.
And look
Yeah.
what you're doing by showing up. You're inspiring people like me.
Yeah.
Are you going to cry again?
I am. I'm such a sap. I mean, here's what you guys need to know. I cry in commercials. I watch Disney movies with my daughter, and she's like, "Are you kidding?"
Everybody says haters gonna hate. That's what they do. Good for you, Jude. Post it anyways. Adriana says, yes, forget the haters. Another quote of mine that I like is, what is it? Hustle so hard that your haters ask if you're hiring.
Oh, that's good.
I'm gonna post that as a comment, and I was gonna put like, hustle so hard that your haters ask if you're hiring, and I was gonna put like, and I always believe in second chances.
Yeah. I shared one the other day, June. I don't know if you're on my live, but I said one that I like aspire. Like I love this quote. It's like, work hard so when you walk into a room, you no longer have to introduce yourself. Like I love that. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna walk in and you're gonna be like, I know that girl.
Yeah, like your work speaks for yourself, right? What are your? I do want to, because we are going to be wrapping up soon. What is your advice for anyone out there that has been rejected multiple times after interviews or after a business idea, multiple doors slammed in their face? What is your advice to anyone out there that is feeling really down and uninspired right now?
Okay, all right. I want to share this with you guys because I also have to remind myself of this. But you know, if other people are going to slam the door in your face or, you know, close the door or reject you, I want you to really think about, do you believe in you? Do you believe in what you're doing? Do you believe that you can make a difference? And go with that. Like have that be your driving force. I know like one of my good friends, and this I talk about too in one of my Cinderella talk, my Curing the Cinderella Complex, which I have just submitted to TEDx. So I'm fingers crossed. Yes. So I love to give that talk and show up in my blue Cinderella poofy dress, right?
Wait, I do want to touch on that though. Because you have been rejected multiple times. Right? How many?
I have. Well, I would say I've submitted to different TEDx's and I actually haven't gotten to that stage yet. I have emceed a TEDx. So I feel like that was my stepping stone. And now I'm like, I've had a taste of this. I'm going to get on that stage. Come hell or high water, I'm going to be there. So you have to have that driving force and that desire that I believe in me. I'm going to go out and do this. And my good friend Mario, like, I know there have been times where I don't believe in me. And he's like, Tisha, bet on you. Bet on you. Every single time you're in doubt, bet on you. Bet on you. And I actually just saw a whole Beyonce picture the other day that said, I believe in myself. Like that's really the one thing that you need
Yeah,
is belief in yourself. Because if you believe in you, then who's going to stop you?
exactly. You have to be your. I talked about this too in my first live. You have to be your own best cheerleader and hype
Mm-hmm.
woman and hype man. I do want to answer this question. Elena just said, I had the experience recently in an interview. They told me they didn't think I could do the job. I had 10 years of experience. She was rude and condescending to me. I felt horrible afterwards. I'm so sorry that you felt like that. I'm so sorry that person or that hiring manager said that to you. At the end of the day, Elena, you just have to keep going and keep applying and keep getting rejected, because the more you get rejected in life, the more resilient that you become. You
Mm-hmm.
build this armor. I've been rejected so many times that now I'm like, I don't care if I do my dance videos on LinkedIn and show up as my dramatic extra self, because at the end of the day, I enjoy my own company. Like, I laugh
Yes.
at my own jokes, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, why don't you touch on that, Tisha?
There's so shout out to Valerie Lawrence. She runs Thriving with CP with cerebral palsy, and I had her on my podcast, Success Over Struggle, and this was earlier in the year. But one thing that she said that just kind of reminded me of what you just commented on, June, was, can you spend time with you? Can you spend time with you?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't, then maybe you need to change who you are. Like maybe you need to think about that, because you should be able to hang out with you and love you and provide self care to you. And like you said, maybe you're a little extra, but who the hell cares? Like that's what you want. I talk in my car all the time. Who the hell cares? Like I love it.
Everyone's wishing you the best. Let's all
Oh,
like
thank
send
you.
Tisha some positive vibes.
Yes, yes,
Please,
positive vibes.
please.
Thank
Like,
you.
did you touch on like what keeps you motivated to keep applying, to keep going?
To keep going, because you know what, it's not that I'm being rejected. It's not like they're sending me the big fat F no, like no, you're not getting this. But I know that they have a lot of candidates, and I know that you have to also think about timing. Is timing right? And for me, I know that when I get there, the timing's going to be absolutely right. It's going to be the right time for me, the right time for them. They're going to see something in me. They're like, this is the girl. Like she's going to get on that stage and crush it. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I haven't heard back yet because I just submitted last week. So fingers crossed to everybody, and thanks for all the wishes.
Yeah, fingers crossed, toes crossed, cross your eyes.
Cross your eyes.
Do
Yeah,
everything that you
cross
can.
your eyes too. Cross your eyes too.
But I just want to thank you again. I'm so excited to be part of this journey with you. It's just so real. It's so real to me that I can call you my friend, my mentor, my accountability partner. Roxanne says, "Such a great episode, ladies. I'm inspired." Okay, if you guys are inspired by our conversation, I want to know what you guys are going to do to start showing up for yourself for this new month of October. And let's why don't we just touch on this light and then end the conversation. What are your goals for the month? Because I know we actually do weekly check-ins. We just started doing weekly check-ins.
Mm-hmm.
So going into the new month, what have you set for yourself as far as your personal and professional goals?
Yes. So, personal, just to keep my habits up of like getting up, walking, being in faith, and spending more time with my family. They're currently on fall break. So actually, June, Monday, I might need to take a rain check because I'm going to be at the park on a picnic date with the
Good for you. Good for
kids.
you.
And then professionally, I'm venturing into something very new. As I shared a little earlier, I am hosting a personal brand builder challenge. This is a free 5-day challenge that I, as well as my team, are hosting because we're tired of seeing people like blending in. We're like, no, no, no. Do something that excites you. Be a little extra. Dance on camera. Like, create something that people get to know you for. Like I created a startup business grant and gave it on my birthday. If you guys were watching, and people were like, the girl that gives a grant on her birthday? Yeah, that's me. The girl that talks in her car all the yeah, that's me. So do something that drives you, that you get excited about, that you're passionate about, that people start to go, yes, I can tell how much she loves that or he loves that. So this personal brand builder challenge is, like I said, it's 5 days. It's free. Anybody can join it, especially if you're in a saturated industry like real estate, independent financial planning, coaching, whatever that is, and you're like, dang, there's so much noise. How do I stand out? I want to teach you how to stand out. I want to teach you those strategies and those tools and those tips so that it gets easier for you, that it's more simplified for you, so that you're not like grasping at straws and confusing everybody. So personalbrandbuilderchallenge.com is the website to register and sign up for that. It kicks off October 12th through the 16th. And just excited about that, June. This is my first one. It's my first one. And so I know that it's just like we talked about, done is better than perfect.
Exactly.
It's going to be about refining and doing it over and over and over and really finding my groove with it. And and then of course, rule of life lessons. I'm almost to 20 left, and that's huge. Like, so I'm over the hump of wanting to do 52, and now I have like 20 left to go, and then I'm done with this whole rule of life lesson writing challenge that I release every Monday. So it's all good. Things are good. I'm excited.
This means you have to do another goal.
I know. Once your goal is done, you need to set the intention for what's the next step that you're going to do.
Yeah. I do want to say with my goals professionally, I do want to launch. I mean, I want to still continuously show up on LinkedIn every single day.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a challenge, but I love doing it. And then sharing stories like this. I do have exciting guests lined up for the month of October. I'm super cheesy, as you know, and I'm obsessed with Halloween. And we are covering topics about following your fears and doing the things that scare you. So sharing those stories, and also too, I do want to work on launching my group coaching program. Help people with their job search strategy, and then instilling the confidence they need to do really well in their interviews. And then personal goals, I think Maria says, she needs to continue Zumba and lose 3 pounds, and I'm on target. Adriana says, oh, can you put the personal brand challenge link in the comments?
Yes, I think you might need to do that because I can't comment.
Okay, I'll do that afterwards, and then I'll tag everyone. But I'm actually going to do that challenge too. I want to learn more about copywriting, and then put something about like your tagline, because I do want to work on my tagline. So yes, we'll do that. But yeah, my personal goal is I need to get back on my fitness routine because it's been on and off. I've been dancing, but I need to start moving again. I've worked out 3 times this week already, but I need to get rid of this quarantine 15 times 5. I don't know. So that's my goal, guys. So you'll probably see more dancing from me. But anyways, I just want to thank you. I hope we can do this again. It was a huge inspiration to me and to everyone here, and I can't wait to do your challenge.
Absolutely. In June, we should have you on Tisha Talks Live too. So I will return the favor so I can interview you.
I'm waiting for that invitation.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and that's one of my things in rounding out September is launching that Tisha Talks Live and doing it 3 times a week. And a lot of it is solo. So it's me talking to my camera.
Roxanne, my friend, Roxanne, who's a dressmaker. Yes, Roxanne, please come. You have to come, please. She actually designs these really beautiful handmade dresses. She actually went to college for fashion design. Nice. And she's also a mother of 2 with 2 stepchildren. So yes, please come, Roxanne. Thank you so much for being here. This is just crazy to me that what's great about LinkedIn Live is you could broadcast through StreamYard on LinkedIn, on Facebook. So you're like integrating everyone in your lives, from like your personal life to your work. It's just crazy. Thank you. Thank you, Elena. Thank you both for this great talk. You are both inspirations. Well, you guys inspire me too. And then someone says, I'm working on my fitness. I cut out soda, chocolate, and potato chips for the month. Good luck with that, because those are 2 of my favorite things. Chocolate's
my thing. I could do without the soda and the chips, but chocolate.
Oh yeah, chocolate. But thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.